Week 17, championship edition of the Boomer Bust Show. I can't believe we're here already. It's week 17, 2022 coming to a close, but we hope that you out there are going for your championships this week, and good luck unless your name's Taylor.
Any Taylor or just like
we'll just
a file name Taylor. Just
we'll just
keep
wrap
it simple.
them all in there. But I'm facing Taylor in a championship, and
okay,
and we like to talk shit, so I don't need him beating me this week. So
good stuff.
So who are you facing in the championship there, Sully? Because I know we all got. Yeah, one.
I got one. Facing my buddy Mark. So I guess
Mark Taylor.
Marks and Taylors are freaking out.
They're out. Yep. They're out. What about you, Bryce?
It's kind of funny because the guy I'm playing in my championship, we're in a group chat, and this dude and I would go back and forth throughout the season, calling each other idiots, stupid, getting heated arguments. It was all in good fun, but his name's Grant, so we can wish bad luck upon all Grants as well.
So Grants, Taylors, and Marks.
I was hoping that maybe you were playing a Bryce, and then that would be totally like,
yeah,
right.
That would have been mind blowing. I don't know any Bryces.
Multiverse.
I know one.
Shit. I don't have any Sullys in my leagues other than the ones that you're in, so obviously we're not facing each other. Else we can throw Sullys under the bus. I think he's the only Rob I've got in any of my leagues now. I did when we had the 96ers going. There were some Robs. There were some everythings.
I still miss some of those leagues. I had some pretty nice lineups in a couple of them.
I do. I do miss the teams on a couple of those, but I don't miss the logistics of everything. And
I don't blame you for that. But
we are here to help you with your championship starts and sits, as well as we can. Sully, let's just throw this out there. Is there anybody this week that you are worried about that is a typical must-start player?
I think you got to be a little concerned about guys like Davante Adams and situations that's going on in Vegas. I think there should be a little bit of concern with guys like Tyler Lockett based on coming back from injury. There's guys that you're always going to be concerned about at certain times. But that said, you're here, you're in the dance. It's you got a 50% chance of taking the ship. I think you just go for it. So I think it's cliche to say start your studs, but I think at this point, I'm going to feel a heck of a lot better. I'm going to feel like crap if I lose, but I'm going to feel a heck of a lot better knowing that I put the guys that gave me a chance to win in my lineup versus getting cute with a guy like Davante Adams and Jared Stidham has a game of his like, and Adams has 25 points, and I have him on my bench. So it's kind of my thing. I'm not too worried about too many guys, but there's always guys. Bryce, what are you?
There was a good post on the Facebook page the other day where someone was concerned about Ramondre, and I was thinking about it earlier this week, and because he fumbled twice, lost one of them, was a game loser, and Belichick's been notorious for just ghosting players when that happened. Surprisingly, Ramondre actually came back on the field, and Belichick has said he's not going to punish Ramondre, so he must really, really like him because that has not been the case. But Damian Harris should be back this week. So I'm a little concerned on will Damian Harris be a little more active, because Ramondre has been talking about how he's a little sore all the time. And the volume he's gotten this season has been pretty brutal. But the fact of the matter is the Patriots are still in the playoff hunt, and they got to get the ball to their best player on offense. And it's by a wide margin, Ramondre. So there is a little bit of concern, but with knowing the situation, it's kind of subsided the more I've looked into it. But what about you, Rick?
That post, I know exactly what post you're talking about because I got yelled at in that post. But because I'm more worried about DK Metcalf than just about anybody. Going up against the Jets, Sauce's boss. We talk about this every week. Who's Sauce facing? Right on the outside, we don't want any part of that. It's been going on all year now, and now Geno's not playing like Geno was the first half of the season. I like Tyler Lockett better in that game, coming out of the slot and running a lot more slot stuff. But in that particular post, he was the one I was most worried about. I mean, if you have other options, like that guy had options to sit him, right? Like he had Brian Robinson with Antonio Gibson out. Brian Robinson already getting 15 carries a game, throwing another 5 probably. He's probably going to get you 20 carries. So I'm starting him over DK. Jalen Waddle was in that. Stevenson was in that, and I don't remember who the other one was, but I mean.
Yeah, I meant to mention the Miami receivers as well. That's another good one with Teddy going today.
But the last game that Teddy started, well, actually he's only started one game this year, but that last game that he started, Waddle was 6 for 129, right? So like I'm not really worried about Waddle. I mean, it's always a concern with backos, but these guys get volume, right? And until they face a shutdown corner, and then you see like people just don't even test Sauce. They don't even throw his way.
No, they don't.
And that's an issue.
And Reed is no slouch on the other side either.
Right,
that guy is freaking good. So what I kind of like about DK is he has no ADOT lately, right? Like his passes are coming out real quick, and with his size, he's turning a catch that most guys would turn into nothing into 5-6 yards. So PPR wise, he's still probably going to get you 8 to 10 catches, but he might get you 82 scoreless yards with it, right? So 16 points is not a bad day, but at the same time, it's not the DK possibility that normally he would have.
Yeah, and, you know, what I did was I went back and I looked at his game logs this year, and he hasn't had that high-end score that we've seen from him in the past. His highest score is like 25. He's got 3 games of over 20, but he's got 4 of under 8, and most of them fall in between 12 and 15 on a normal week. So you throw in the Sauce factor, and the expectation just has to be lower. And the high-end play isn't there for DK right now when it comes to fantasy. And that translating into fantasy. And that's really why he worries me a little bit, because the upside was already kind of meh for what we expect out of DK. And then you throw in the whole Sauce factor and Geno not playing the way he was the first half of the season when he was lighting it up. But as we know, it's always possible that DK goes nuts, scores 30 points and puts up a big week. But obviously, it all comes down to options and who else you have to fill in. And that guy just happened to have – he had to play 4 out of 5, and I don't even remember who they all were. I'm going to look it up because I can't remember the last one. But in that sense, he had a bunch of running backs that had solid floors. And
I didn't see the post, but I don't mind DK just because I think the Jets score a good amount of points today, and Seattle's going to have to track meet it to keep up. And it's obviously a massive playoff implication game. So I don't dislike it, but again, I don't know who the options are.
ETN, Waddle, Brian Robinson, and Stevenson.
So sit 1.
And DK. Yeah, sit 1.
It's probably DK. And if it wasn't, honestly, the second guy I would sit would probably be Ramondre. I just think that there's some split there. And I was wrong about that last week too, but he's a little dinged. He's more questionable this week than he has been the last 3 that he's been questionable. Harris looks like he's going to play. The Patriots are really hard to figure out.
Just on sitting Stevenson, my issue with him versus the other running backs is he catches so many damn passes.
That is very true.
And Brian Robinson and ETN surprisingly just don't catch a ton of passes, but ETN gets Houston, which we know is a juicy matchup for running back, and Brian Robinson gets Cleveland, who is also a juicy matchup for running back.
Yeah,
that's why it went Metcalf for me. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, and it doesn't. You didn't interrupt anything important, really. So it's just I just can't figure New England out. And I've probably been saying that my entire adult life. But, we talk about Belichick does this and Belichick does that. Is he the same guy? Like, he doesn't even seem remotely like Belichick of years past. Like, he doesn't seem like, you talk about not punishing guys because he's fumbled and stuff like that. Like, he doesn't seem to, like, I don't want to say it doesn't seem like he doesn't care, but it seems like he doesn't care. Like, how he cannot find someone to run his offense better than those two buffoons that he has doing it. Like, they're just an absolute mess. And for a guy who's trying to hang around to get to the all-time wins record, it's going about it in a weird way. Like, I know there's the conspiracy theorists or the people out there that think that, you know, without Brady, Belichick wouldn't be as great as he was. And I don't really buy into that, but I'm starting to get a little bit closer to that side, because since Brady's left, Belichick has done a lot of really weird and questionable things.
I don't think Belichick is that great of an offensive coach. Like, I don't even think he has a say in it right now. I think that the rumors are they're going to try and bring in Bill O'Brien, and then Belichick's going to get the wins record and Bill O'Brien's going to take over, because apparently the Kraft family and all the upper people loved Bill O'Brien when he was there. So I could see them like not trying another offensive coordinator, because if that guy's successful, they'll expect to keep him, where they just want Bill O'Brien to come in next year and be the offensive coordinator and eventually take over as head coach. But the fact of the matter is Bill Belichick's a defensive coach, and when is the Patriots defense, even when they lack like superstars, like they might have like when have they not been like a top 5, maybe a top 8 defense like for the past 20 years?
Yeah, maybe
it's got to be less than 2 or 3 times.
I was going to say maybe 2 or 3.
I think that's where Belichick's strength is, and I think he and Brady, definitely their legacies wouldn't be the same if they weren't with each other. Like, they wouldn't have had as much success, because Brady's an offensive mind, and it seems like Belichick's a defensive mind, because the offense has been bad, like really, really bad since Brady has left. So hopefully a new offensive coordinator can come in and kind of take over, because they need some help. And it looks like Josh McDaniels is going to stay as the Raiders coach. I was hoping maybe he'd get fired and come back, but
do the old the third time.
What he's already done, yeah, I hope. But it looks like Bill O'Brien might get a shot. There was a lot of rumors that Cliff Kingsbury could get fired, and they try and bring him in since he's got roots with New England. But the NFL has already gotten in trouble with signing these coaches to long-term deals, or the owners have gotten in trouble with signing these coaches with long-term deals and then firing them. So I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to stay a while with Arizona as well.
What are you seeing in Arizona that wants you to bring Cliff Kingsbury into town?
So, it's funny you say that, because I think there's some coaches that are just better as coordinators than they are as head coaches.
I agree, but when the guys are calling, sure, but when the guys are calling the plays and they're still garbage, that's where I have a concern if they're even a good offensive coordinator. And with Kingsbury, you can go to UCLA, you can go to Texas Tech, you can go to all these places that he's been with the talent that he's had, and he's been terrible. Like, I don't even know how he got that job in the first place.
I mean, that was a big debate when he got the job, was what the hell's going on.
So, and I think Arizona could be a very fun team to watch this year, because I think there's 2 guys that could be, one of 2 guys is leaving. It's probably not the quarterback, but it also wouldn't surprise me if it was the quarterback, because I think you could get a haul for that kid right now.
I think the Metcalf won't be there next year. Or, oh my gosh, Hopkins won't be there next year either.
Oh, that's interesting. Never thought of that.
There's a lot of rumors that the Bears may make a play for one of these big named older receivers here coming up in the offseason. The Hopkins, now there's Devontae Adams rumors, and
those guys are a package deal, right?
Yeah. Everyone's saying the same thing about Hopkins to New England because of the mid-season HBO Hard Knocks, where Belichick and Hopkins were talking. They said they love each other. It's really cute.
Well, I bet they don't get Bill O'Brien and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I bet that don't happen.
That's definitely not going to happen.
Hey, we got a question in here.
That'd be pretty awesome if they did.
Right?
It feels so good.
It'd be fun to watch that implode.
Totally would.
Okay, Castile in with the championship question. The first one of the day: Zach Moss, Jerick McKinnon, Alvin Kamara. Pick 3 in standard scoring. I'm gonna go with all 3 of those guys.
Castile,
it's got to be 2. It's got
Castile, like you're a great guy, and you've been
you obviously
supporter
of
Roto Heat for a very long time. But dude, get your shit together, man. There's 3 guys here, right?
If it's 2, I'm sitting Zach Moss.
I am too.
So am I, but I want Zach Moss in lineups this week if I can get him in there, which I've never said in my life.
He looks faster than he did when he came out.
Well, he's just going to get all the touches, and he's playing against the Giants, who are awful. So,
Marco from the future says, "Good afternoon and happy New Year." I feel like, is he writing in code for us? Didn't capitalize happy, didn't capitalize year, but he did capitalize new. So is there a hidden message from the future in here that we need to decipher?
I just think it's glaringly obvious that he's qualified to work for the Roto Heat team, because half our team doesn't know what to capitalize and what not to either.
That's why I don't write articles anymore.
Thanks for putting that out there.
I was a math brain.
We are not in the team chat, Sully. This is public.
I don't think anybody's watching this shit. Don't worry about it.
We got 5 people.
My dude, Christopher, is here wondering, in a deep league, he has the flex choices of McKinnon or Cook. Let's clarify here. Are you talking? Are you talking Dalvin or James?
It's got to be James, isn't it?
I'd imagine it's James. It can't be Dalvin. It'd be a clear answer.
Yeah. Dalvin's top 5 this week, I think.
Yeah, if it's Dalvin Cook, it's easily Dalvin. But what are you doing if it's James Cook?
It's James Cook.
Cook. Okay.
Yeah, he just put it in there. I'm going to go with McKinnon. He had a little bit of a down week last week, but he's still in there a lot. And he the PPR upside and the touchdown upside on that team. It's hard to sit him for the other backup running back who just doesn't seem like he's getting as much volume as him. Even though James Cook, I think, will start to take over probably next year if they don't address running back in the draft, which for some people, a lot of people think they will. I'll go with McKinnon.
I think they're going to at least try.
They might roll with James Cook.
I don't think James Cook's an every down between the tackles kind of back. I like him as a Jerick McKinnon type running back, ironically enough. I would go with McKinnon here. I think the Broncos are going to come out with a little piss and vinegar today. I think they got something to play for now that they've rid themselves of Hackett, and they've got some interim situations there. Maybe guys are playing for jobs. And the only thing about that team that I like is their defense. So I think they're going to maybe cause Kansas City to have to throw and keep up and do things that they normally wouldn't. Cincinnati's a very good defense, and I think Cook's in tough on Monday. So I'll roll with McKinnon.
Yeah, I'm going McKinnon as well. Isn't it weird that the Broncos players, like, they haven't came to Russ's defense at all this year until the coach gets fired? And then they start kind of, we love Russ. We love Russ. It's like such a weird situation in Denver after giving up all that capital to bring in Russell Wilson to change the quarterback landscape for a team that's really been searching for a franchise quarterback since John Elway retired. You know, they had the few year stretch with Peyton Manning, but he wasn't really the franchise quarterback because he was over the hill. He'd already had his neck surgery.
Yeah.
So he was just more of a stopgap at that point, which obviously brought them a Super Bowl. But they've been looking to fill this franchise quarterback role. I just find it weird that now that the coach gets fired, we love Russ.
It's like they didn't know which one was going to go, right? So they were just holding and waiting.
They were waiting to pick sides,
right? And then as soon as they found out who it was, they're like, "Oh yeah, we like Russ." And I'm not an insider by any means, but they don't like Russ at all.
Yeah, there's not a lot of.
There was a couple of highlights of that last game where he gets sacked and his whole offensive line is just standing around looking at him. No one's going to help him up. Nothing. Like, get up on your own, asshole.
So Castiel said it was 2 of 3. So a little typo there. The Marcus says he had a typo. He forgot to switch to the English keyboard.
That'll happen, especially in the future. That's a tough thing to remember.
That was James Cook. We covered that. We got Jerick McKinnon or Jamal Williams. It looks like I should have put Jerick McKinnon on the cover, huh?
Oh, well.
Yeah, probably.
Marco from the future could have helped you out with that.
Yeah, right, Marco? Thanks a lot, man.
Really needs to
So Jerick McKinnon or Jamal Williams. I feel like I know where you're going, Sully. What's your word on this one?
Easy McKinnon for me. Williams is turning into a ghost. And I know I've said this a lot of times. If he doesn't score, he's not startable. And that's really not anything groundbreaking, but that's where it's at. Like, I just can't start him because if he doesn't score, he's 6 to 8 points, and that's a dud in the finals. So McKinnon, easy for me.
Yeah, I agree. Jamal, I don't think any running back catches the ball less than Jamal Williams for how much they're on the field. So
yeah, it's true.
Didn't they say he hadn't had a catch in like 4 or 5 weeks or something?
Didn't he have one last week? I think he had one. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got little to no PPR value. So I will also go Jerick McKinnon. Rich.
I don't know. I think right now you could tell me that he was going to score a touchdown and I still wouldn't pick him over McKinnon because McKinnon's getting 8 freaking targets a week.
Yep.
I didn't look into that 2 weeks ago when Sully was campaigning for Jerick McKinnon. I didn't realize that he had been getting that many targets for that many, for that long of a period, right? Like seeing it every now and then is one thing, but to see it week in and week out, McKinnon's a starter right now in fantasy. And it's weird because he's been around forever.
30.
Yeah. And
Cordarrelle Patterson kind of started becoming relevant at the same age.
Yeah. These running backs that don't get a lot of work early, and Jerick McKinnon's was obviously, he was supposed to be the guy a couple of years, but then would get injured and didn't really get to play. It was never a skill problem with him, right? Like everybody liked the talent and the skill, but it was just, he couldn't stay healthy, and he's not going to get you 15 carries a game either. But if you're getting 8 targets, I don't care how many carries you can get 0. And I'll take the 8 targets at running back.
And it's the targets and who the targets are from and where the targets are that make him so valuable.
Yeah. I mean, you're in a high-powered offense with the best quarterback in the league.
Right.
And a lot of touchdown upside. 8, yeah, I'll take it. Chris says, appreciate it, fellas. Was leading McKinnon for myself, too. First time in the championship in this league. Hey,
go
Chris,
get it, man. Go get it.
Win it, buddy. Okay, over on Facebook, Bryce, let me know who this is. Sit for today. 3 wide receivers and 2 flex spots. We got 5. 3 must be a wide receiver. We got Mike Evans, Gabriel Davis, Brandon Cooks, Christian Watson, George Pickens. With Watson a true game time decision at 4 p.m., do I start Cooks in a wide receiver spot and just put Watson in my flex spot instead? He's got Jamal Williams, Rashad White, Latavius Murray, Higbee are also considered for my flex spots, and it's tight and premium 1.5 PPR. So I'm seeing Higbee as 1 flex starter. Okay, so this is a lot to unpack. I do know that we've got Christian Watson game time decision. I think Higbee's also a game time decision, right? Or did we get some updated info on him?
Yeah, they expect him to go.
They expect him to go?
Scheffner and Rappaport both expect him to go, so I'd say he's going to go. He's been kind of hot with Baker the last couple of weeks. Like he hadn't scored a touchdown entering a game 2 weeks ago, and I think now he has 3 or 4. So he's on a bit of a heater. But he's not a volume guy. I think you got to sit Watson, don't you? Like if you're picking 3 wide receivers here, it's Evans, Davis, and Pickens.
I mean, I'd rather play Watson than Davis and Pickens.
If he plays
in a
those
vacuum,
problem, right?
Right.
Sure.
But what does Evans play at 1? Tampa Bay doesn't normally play it.
They do
a lot of late games, right? They do play at 1.
Yeah, big game, Carolina. Go Panthers.
But you can wait though. Like if Davis is one of your starters, you can wait on that because he plays Monday night, right?
He does. Pickens plays tonight too, I think. He's the night game.
Yeah, so you've got options waiting on Watson. So I think you can just throw Watson in here and then whoever else you think is out.
So if everyone was 100% healthy, where do you rank those wide receivers?
Honestly, I might have Watson number 1 right
Probably,
now.
right?
Easily for me.
Probably. Mike Evans is chasing 1,000 yards, and he's done that every year of his career. So I think Brady's going to have a little bit of an incentive to feed him on top of he wants to win. So I think he needs to be in there. And then between Cooks, Davis, and Pickens, I don't know. Like Davis probably gives you the most upside, but Cooks is a mess right now, and Pickens, who knows? He's got Pickett back, so that helps, I guess.
Yeah, it's
yeah, it does.
I'm probably going Watson, Evans, and probably Davis at wide receiver. And then obviously if Watson doesn't go, you can put in Pickens. And then Murray and Higbee.
All right.
Or Murray and White. Or Murray and Cooks. I think Murray's in there, right? Like Murray's getting too much work for Denver. Probably going to get some targets this week because they're playing against Kansas City. They're going to be chasing. I think he's a must start in the flex here. Does everybody agree with that?
I think so.
He's in mine out of these.
I think so.
This is a lot to unpack. Who
was
this?
Probably the second last game of his career.
Jeff Jacobs.
Jeff, I mean, like, write the Da Vinci Code next night.
I think I got mine. I think I'll go. Man, I'm worried about Christian Watson. Like, if I hear he's limited at all, I'm benching him, and I'm going Watson, Pickens, Evans, with Gabe Davis in there if Watson is any sort of limited, and then I'm going Murray and Higbee.
Yeah, so I'm the same except for I'm not going Pickens. I'm going Gabe Davis.
It's a juicy matchup for Pickens. It's a Pickens week. Just letting you know.
Yeah, but I'll go with quarterback with a guy that's very easily could have multiple touchdowns in Davis. I'm not even a Davis fan, but I just don't trust Kenny Pickett yet. Not in my championship week.
So for me, it's Watson, Evans, and Davis for me. And if Watson doesn't go, Pickens moves in for Watson. If they all go, my flexes then become Murray and probably Higbee. I want to go Pickens, but I'll take Higbee because of that half-a-point kicker, and I think he's been on a bit of a roll with Baker.
I think if you look at Gabe Davis's year this year, you'd go Pickens. He's had 8 games below 10 points to Pickens's 4 with Kenny Pickett as the starter, and has only eclipsed more than 20 points twice this year.
Yeah,
Gabe Davis has.
Okay, how many times has Pickens done that?
Probably 3.
He might only be twice as well, but his floor with Kenny Pickett at quarterback is higher.
It is.
It is. It's just higher. He is actually yet to eclipse 20 points. He's gotten real close 3 times, but he has not eclipsed it. 20 points.
Yeah, we just
18,
know
18 3 times, 16 twice. Like he's up there. He's consistently 10 to 18 points with Kenny Pickett at quarterback.
For me, I mean, Davis is his floor is probably 8 though. I'm not in a game where they're gonna have to throw because they're playing against another good offense.
Yeah, that's
I get it. There's a ceiling with Davis though, and there's not really a ceiling with Pickens yet. Again, I like Pickens, but I might actually take him over Higbee, even though it is the 1.5 PPR. I might still get Pickens in there over Higbee. That's a tough one because a 0.5, right? Even if he gets 6 receptions, that's 3 more points. Does that really put him on the same level as Pickens? So I think I'm actually going to do that and start the 4 receivers and Murray with Evans, Davis, Watson, and Pickens, and then Latavius Murray instead of Higbee.
The reason that Davis is in my lineup versus Pickens is I can see the game on Monday night being 38-35, 42-38, and I can see the Sunday nighter being 13-10 or 10-7. So that's my reasoning is I just think that Baltimore-Pittsburgh game is going to be a slow, plodding, defensive yuck Sunday night game.
Both established their run games. Clock goes. I could see that for sure.
I don't see a need for Baltimore to throw the football because they can't and they don't have to in that game. And Pittsburgh, I don't know, man. I don't think Baltimore's defense is as bad as it showed early in the year. Maybe I'm wrong.
All right. Marco from the future wants to know. He's got to start 4 of these. We got Jahan Dotson. We got Palmer, D-Rob, Chris Moore, Sky Moore, Jamison Williams, Thielen, Cooks, and half PPR. I think Dotson is in there out of these guys.
Yep.
After that, it gets really murky.
Yeah, it's murky is another word for ugly. Yikes.
Jeez.
Brandon Cooks might actually make it into this one for me. It might be Cooks and Thielen, and I don't like either one.
I think for me, it's Dotson, Palmer.
Is it easier if we eliminate guys?
Well, Chris Moore, Sky Moore are out.
And so's D-Rob and Williams, right?
Well, D-Rob's not out for me because he's the only one scoring touchdowns for Baltimore right now.
Yeah, I guess. It just don't think they can.
But that offense is bad. But we're looking at these options and not. I think I go Dotson, Palmer, Thielen, Cooks. But I kind of want to get. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going with. Dotson, Palmer, Thielen, Cooks.
I think so. I guess so. I think you have to, and just hope for the best. Like, and I know that's a crappy answer, but it is what it is. It's these. Hey, this is a Roto Heat special. We love these kinds of questions. So
yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah,
Bryce?
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with those 4 as well.
D-Rob's real close to getting in there for me.
Not for me.
Yeah,
maybe he is with Cooks.
Goose egg yesterday or last week.
Maybe between Cooks and D-Rob, that is close. You're right.
See, I'm more Thielen and D-Rob than.
That's fair too. I just think
championship with this roster.
Do what?
I want to see the rest of. I want to know how he's in the championship game with starting 4 of these guys.
Oh, he's not. He just listed a bunch of players and wondered who we'd start.
Yeah.
He already knows the answer.
Russ only cooks with Uber Eats now.
It's good.
Duo
point.
Trick Shots says, thanks. That was the Jerick McKinnon and Jamal Williams question. No problem, buddy. I hope it.
Cool. Good luck. Good.
Jeff Fields in here. Good morning, gentlemen. Any update on Hurts or Christian Watson? Hurts is out. Christian Watson is a true game time decision. So if you're going to wait on him, you got to make sure that you have another late option. And then Renan.
Anybody who might be playing into week 18 for whatever reason, sounds like Hurts is playing next week, which pisses me right off.
I think he's going to have to secure the 1 seed.
Oh, I think they secure it today.
Don't the Cowboys have to lose to secure it?
Eagles just have to win a game.
Oh, who they play today?
Saints. Gardner Minshew throwing with his left hand could beat New Orleans today.
I mean, I don't know if I go that far. Renan says, "What's up, guys?"
What's up, Renan?
This is all right.
Perry says, "I need 2 running backs and 2 flex. I got ETN, Kenneth Walker, Stevenson, Algier, Mostert, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, or Drake London." So Devonta Smith's in here. He's in one of the flexes.
Yep,
that's a lock. Kenneth Walker, a lock for me.
Is he over those other 2 running backs, or is he a lock to be at least a flex for you?
He's the number 1 running back I'm taking here.
Really? Okay.
Running back for me.
Do up?
Yeah.
Stevenson's my number 1 running back.
I think so too, but I'm concerned about him. But I'm still with you. I think.
I'm going ETN, Walker, Stevenson, Smith.
Yeah, easily for me.
Agree. But Walker would be, for whatever it's worth, and it's worth nothing, he'd be a flex for me. But yes, I agree.
I could agree with that.
Jags or Giants D?
All right, these teams are playing.
So we got
All right.
Jags Houston.
Yeah.
Jags Houston. Giants are
I know this. Colts. I'm going to go with the Giants because Nick Foles is probably the only quarterback that I'm aware of that could make Matt Ryan look good. Like, he was so flippin' bad last game. It was
Target
bad.
the tight ends a lot.
Yeah, he always has those his entire career.
We almost saw Nathan
player.
Peterman start a game for Chicago this year, so there is somebody out there that can do it better than Foles. But
Foles is bad. Like, he's bad.
Well, Nathan Peterman's bad too. But I do agree that game was ugly as shit last week. And
like, if you're Sam Ellinger, you got to be thinking, I must really be shitty.
Yeah, but let's just
watching this.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and move on over to the AFL or the XFL and get some playing time, right? Yeah, I'll go Giants D as well. My big fear in that one is just that the Colts run the ball too much and slow that game down. Houston's gonna have to throw. Jags are scoring points now. So I want to go. Both of them have bad quarterback play right now, but it feels like the old Davis Mills has been awoken after getting benched a little bit. He's actually played pretty decent.
Yeah, I needed a hell of a lot more out of Jeff Driscoll last week, and I didn't get it.
Yeah, so I'll go Giants. It's close. That's a close one though, Perry. Bryce, did you pick yours?
I'm gonna go with the Giants as well.
Daniel,
you got yeah, there it is. Yep.
Appreciate the super chat. It's very important to us. Helps us keep going. Okay, fellas, Kamara or McKinnon, then Dortch, Sutton, Shark, Johnson, Waller, or Jelani Woods, Dicker or Gano. Fantasy Bowl online. Thanks for the help. Happy New Year. So I'm going to skip the running back for the moment.
Okay. Because that's the hardest one for me.
I don't know what I want to do there.
Okay, so between Dortch, Sutton, Chark, Johnson, Waller, Woods, we're picking how many?
I think there's supposed to be a cutoff there with the wide receiver. And please, Daniel, let us know like how many you need out of this group. But Waller's the tight end I'm playing.
Probably.
If it's out of those three, it's pretty easily Waller for me. I think that the
quarterback doesn't matter to you.
No, I think
it might help. It might help. Right?
It might help. You know, just look at Kittle and San Fran with Purdy coming in. It's helped a lot. So
we
just
said
one out of those, Daniel.
Yeah.
So you need one running back, one wide receiver, and one tight end. Is that right? And then kicker.
Yep, one of each.
One of each. So I'm going Waller at tight end. I'm going Sutton at wide receiver. And I'm going with Kamara at running back. I just think that this is what you got Kamara for. He was better last week. The 8 targets McKinnon's been getting is tough to sit, but and then I'm going Dicker at kicker. Bryce,
did you chuckle when you said that?
Yeah, I did.
Dicker the kicker.
The 12-year-old Rick came out on that one.
I love it.
Here. I'm going with Chark at the wide receiver. I'm going Waller as well with Dicker the kicker. And then let me see here Kamara's matchup /
Just playing the Eagles. While you're looking that up,
I
I'm going Kamara. It's not as big a difference over McKinnon as it probably should be, but still where I'm going to go in my championship final. I'm really flip-flopping between Sutton and Chark, so I'm going to leave that for a second. I'm going to go with Waller. I think that is the obvious answer there. And I am going to go with Cortland Sutton, even though Chark has the Bears, and Rick has taught us that the Bears' defense is poo-poo.
We're starting 3 rookie cornerbacks.
Right? So I just think Denver has to show us something today, and they have to throw the football. So I'm going to go with Sutton. I don't love it. Like I have he's my biggest lineup question in one of my leagues, and I'm sitting him for Zay Jones, and I don't know if I love that or not, but digress. I will go with Kamara, Sutton, Waller, and good luck to you.
You can pick a kicker?
Oh, yeah. I will take Dicker the kicker because it's just too fun to say. And he's got a good weather game, and Gano's indoors, but still, I think Dicker's been kicking. He's got game-winning field goals for 2 or 3 different teams this year. It's kind of cool, so I'll go with him.
I was gonna add something, and
Jerry Jeudy is active, if that means anything to this question.
Yeah, he was expected to play.
Oh, I was gonna say with the Bears, the problem is that the Bears are so bad on defense everywhere that you can't pinpoint like who's gonna be the dude that day. You know what I mean? Like a lot of teams, you could like Houston, you can say running backs, take the running back versus Houston. There's Tennessee where you take the wide receivers against Tennessee, and then there's Chicago where it's just like it's a free for all. Everybody gets points.
Because it could be a little bit of Amon-Ra, it could be a little bit of DK, it could be some Swift, it could be some anything, right?
Yeah.
It's like a buffet of fantasy points for the Lions.
Jeff says, how much does Stidham hurt the potential of Carlson? Carlson is usually a lock for 5 to 6 minimum, but I'm not so sure about that with Stidham. Even so, I should still stick with Carlson, right? Are we talking?
What's the kicker question, dude? Isn't it? It's got to be.
I think so.
Okay, so
as bad as Derek Carr has been, I don't think there's any way that you could hurt the kicker for Seattle by making a quarterback or for Las Vegas. I just don't see. I don't see it hurting a kicker.
I see it as somewhat almost helping him because the quarterback has a little bit less of the ability to finish drives. That said, I'd really love to know who your options are because when the Raiders play the Niners, they might not get into field goal range regardless of who their kicker is. So I'd like to see who your other options are at kicker, and I'm absolutely digging these kicker questions. This is awesome. Bryce?
Yeah, I'd look to find one on the waiver wire. And just let you know, Rick, you skipped a few. I think you just scrolled down to Daniel's other stuff and then we got some of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go back.
It's okay. I just didn't want you to forget, but yeah, I'd be looking somewhere else because the Raiders are heavy on their run game anyway, but the Niners are just, the best defense in the league probably. So
without doubt,
I'd want a kicker going against a team that can't score, but they can still drive the ball. I'd look and see if the Steelers kicker is available. I guess Justin Tucker would be available, but I'd look at teams like that.
And look indoors.
Yeah, I wasn't even factoring in a matchup there, but I don't want to play anybody against the 49ers if I can avoid it, other than, obviously Devontae, Waller, I'm fine with, and even Jacobs is a little bit scary in that matchup.
Very for me
on the ground. So, all right,
I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Nah, nobody wants to hear you anyway. Okay. Marco says, didn't make the championship game this year. Half of my roster didn't score points, and the other half spend half the season on IR. It's rough, man. Fantasy football can be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's been a tough year.
All right, so Jeff is back with one wide receiver, full PPR, Watson, Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper. Starting A.J. Brown at wide receiver 1, so is having Smith and Brown too risky versus the Saints. Watson plays at 3:25. Rest play at noon. I'm fine with Devonta and AJ Brown in my lineup.
I think I am too. I think Gardner Minshew has shown that he's capable of supporting 2 wide receivers. He throws for about 300 yards every time he plays. He might throw some picks, but that's not going to hurt you from a receiver standpoint. Marshall Lattimore is playing for New Orleans, and I don't think that's as scary as it once was. And it's the first time he's played in, I think, 2 months. So I just, there's so many questionables about the other guys, like Mike Evans. Tom Brady's not looking good. Mari Cooper has a iffy quarterback. I just think the Eagles are going to want to wrap up that division and conference and everything else today. Oh, sorry, the division. Oh yeah, the division and the conference. Sorry. So yeah, I think I'm going to roll with both the Eagles as well. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Now, if Lattimore was playing against Mike Evans, he would be more scary than he is playing against Philly, because Mike Evans is like the guy that.
Well, Mike Evans is going to punch him in the face in the first quarter and get ejected. So,
Brew Crew says Brady or Mike White.
That's ugly, hey?
Bryce, real quick, which wide receiver are you starting out of these? Watson, Smith, Evans, Cooper.
And he's even got AJ Brown. I'm still going Smith. Doesn't Marcus Lattimore's back today, isn't he?
He is.
We already had this discussion.
I just don't think I don't think that matters like it used to matter.
I'm just saying, I think it opens the door more for Smith, because I bet I think he's an underrated corner, and I think he hinders AJ Brown. Guy I'm avoiding more in DK lineups, where I'm targeting Devontae Smith because of it.
Yeah, I think that's some solid advice.
Okay,
Rick's way too hard on you, Bryce.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I just watch him lose a lot.
New year, fresh beginnings. Let's go.
Yeah. Blank slate. 2023.
It's all right.
No, we're still in 2022 season though. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till after tomorrow night's game, and then it resets. Brady or Mike White, and the fact that we're even having this discussion is crazy.
It's Brady for me, but I get it.
Give me Mike White. Give me Mike White in this week.
Okay, here's our first $5 bet.
I'm thinking Mike White. Jets play Seattle.
The secondary's not bad.
They've been stinking lately. Seattle's been awful lately.
I didn't even put last week's in the.
Why do you even put that book away?
I don't know. Well, I use this
because he doesn't want to look at it all week long. Like, oh shit, I lost again.
I gotta update it.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't act like a normal 20-something.
It's like the only thing you got to do,
and put it on a freaking Google sheet so we can see it too.
It is on a Google sheet. I shared it with you forever ago.
Yeah, it's there. Oh. I think I totaled up and put up at the top how many each of us had won.
I just write it here so I can I'm
gonna need that link again.
He's gonna your Google. It should be on your Google Drive.
He'll fax you that piece of paper later.
Do you have any idea how many freaking Google Docs I have?
I don't know how to reshare. You're already shared, so I guess I'd have to delete you and reshare.
No, all you got to do is click the share button and then send me the link.
But he did. I got
again.
Let me see.
But it's not his fault. You can't shit talk him for not creating a Google Doc when he did. It's on you to know that you have it or not.
Okay. I didn't say that was his fault.
You did it first.
You said that you made. All I said was that you need to make one. I didn't know there was one. So now I'm saying send me the link. It's that easy.
Okay. Again.
I'm going Mike White.
Nice. Okay, so I got a $5 bet with both of you then?
Yeah, because I like money. Perry.
Dogs are having a good day, Bryce.
I know that my wife left, so when she gets home, they started howling earlier. That's why I had to get up and.
So Perry wants to know: so is Algier not a good play? Well, I'm not starting Algier when I have ETN, Kenneth Walker, Stevenson, and Devonta Smith. Not necessarily a bad play, but not better than them. I would start probably Drake London over them too. From your question from before, so
I'd go Algier over Drake London, but I agree with what you're saying.
0.5 PPR need a flex from Amari Cooper, Zach Moss, or Mark Andrews. I mean, how are we to the point where Mark Andrews isn't even starting at tight end? But there we go again.
That's an excellent question. Unless you have Kelsey, I don't know how he's not your tight end. I get it. He's been struggling, but he's the guy I'm going with out of these three. I'm worried about Amari Cooper this week.
I think I'm gonna go Amari Cooper. I just don't like Mark Andrews has been terrible without Lamar Jackson. And it's not his fault. I think it's just the quarterback play. I trust Deshaun Watson to get Amari Cooper the ball more than I trust Tyler Huntley to get Mark Andrews the ball.
I'm going to Amari Cooper as well. All right, back down here. What's up, fellas? Pacheco or Swift? Swift, full PPR. I'm going Swift pretty easily. Bryce?
I will also go with DeAndre Swift.
Sweep it.
Sweep it. Thanks for the update on Watson and Hurts. It's a bummer to see Hurts out 2 weeks in a row, but the Eagles need to get him healthy for Super Bowl run. Minshew is a good replacement, but they need Hurts. I agree. Minshew is a serviceable backup, but he's not the guy that I want taking me into the playoffs, so I would let Hurts get healthy as well.
I'm a pretty petty individual, so I really hope the Eagles get worked in the playoffs because I need Jalen Hurts. So anybody but them for the Super Bowl. Thank you. I'm just bitter.
No, not Sully.
Yeah, it happens. It happens every once in a while.
Castile says, I have Goff in, and it is important to be accurate in the league I'm in. Purdy, Teddy, Two Gloves, and Minshew Mania are on waivers. Who is the best option?
So this is like a points per completion and probably negative points for incompletions like SFB was.
This is easy.
Purdy is stupid accurate. Like, I don't like the guy, and he actually annoys me, but he is ridiculously accurate. It's not Teddy and it's not Minshew, so it's Purdy for me. If I'm going against Goff, but I'm going with Goff.
I was going to say it's easily Goff for me. Against Chicago, just I'm going Goff.
I am too. I'm sorry, I didn't answer that properly. If I was not going to go with Jared Goff, I would be going with Purdy pretty easily over the other two.
I don't know any leagues like this scoring, but so I'll take your guys' word for it and go Goff as well.
I mean, I don't know what the scoring is.
It doesn't really matter though. I think
you get points for incompletions, I guess. So I didn't know that. Really,
but to Rick's point, you're also going to get points for passing yards and passing touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
And I think even if Goff throws 62% completion rate today, he probably throws for 2 or 3 touchdowns and close to 300 yards.
Hey, do you guys remember who you bet on for passing attempts last week?
I don't remember what day it was.
Yeah, it was. I took Fields over 19 and a half.
I was wrong.
How many do you have?
22 or something? Yeah.
Okay.
The dick.
I told you.
At least it's close.
There was no way he was throwing less than 20 versus Buffalo. They just scored too many points.
You make it sound like it was an outrageous bet, and it was pretty close. So
it was close.
I mean, that's not really that close. So like 20% over.
Well, if you want to use math for your argument,
I'm just saying.
It's bullshit. Using numbers and shit in this, that's wrong.
Hey, Tyler Algier or Mike Williams, Sully?
Wow. PPR, Tyler Algier, Mike Williams. I'll take Williams because he just gives you that 80-yard contested catch touchdown opportunity. But I really like what I've seen out of Tyler Algier breaking tackles like a beast the last couple of weeks, and he's obviously taken over. Kudos to you for calling that out a couple of weeks ago that Atlanta was going to look at their youth. They clearly are. Desmond Ridder doesn't appear to be the guy that I was hoping he is, so Algier will get work. But I'm still going to go with Mike Williams here, but this one's close. Bryce, what are you doing here?
I will go with Mike Williams as well. Rick?
I mean, I want to get those touches in there, but I think the upsides with Mike Williams, Atlanta's offense just doesn't have the – if Algier had legit touchdown upside and multi-touchdown upside, then I would go that way, but it just looks more like 15 to 20 carries and 2 to 3 targets max and no touchdowns. That's kind of where we're at with the Atlanta offense right now.
Nice matchup for Atlanta against Arizona and whatever's left of them. But yeah, I agree.
Alex Smith says Najee or Kenneth Walker. Bryce, we're going to make you go first on this one.
Let me look real quick. I'm going to go with Najee Harris. He, for the first time, had a lot of targets last week. 9 targets last week. Caught 6 of them. So I'm hoping that they kind of keep that train going and maybe get him more involved in the pass game. Where Kenneth Walker is not really utilized in the pass game as much with Seattle. Sully?
It's a tough one because the Jets defense is legit. But Kenneth Walker probably might see 75% of Seattle's total touches today. I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker because I just think that he's probably going to get more volume. But I won't fight you or bet you on the Najee Harris side of it. What are you doing, Rick?
I'm with you, Sully. I'm going Kenneth Walker here. I would have loved if we seen this, targets more often to Najee, and we don't know if this is a 1 week outlier here. I do know that Pittsburgh is trying their best to finish above 500, so Tomlin can keep his streak alive.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know, man. Bad offensive line. I'm going Kenneth Walker. Which we have another Kenneth Walker question. Kenneth Walker or Alvin Kamara in PPRs for Finn and Graham Gano or Dicker, which we've already had the Gano versus Dicker, the kicker question earlier, and we all went with Dicker the kicker. So we know that side. But where are you going, Sully, with Kenneth Walker versus Alvin Kamara?
I have Kamara at 9 and Walker at 11 this week, so I will trust my rankings and go with Kamara. Bryce?
This time I will pivot over to Kenneth Walker this week. Rick?
I'm going Alvin Kamara on this one. If I drop Carlson, these kickers are available. Butker, Patterson, Elliott, McLaughlin, Pinheiro, Folk, Zerline, Sanders, Joseph, McManus. Those are organized by projection. Who do you guys recommend?
Nick Folk. Good weather. Patriots can't score touchdowns.
Who the hell does Patterson kick for? I don't even know who he is. I feel bad. I should know. Hang on.
I don't know. Outside of McManus,
McLaughlin,
Patterson,
and
Butker. I guess I know where Butker plays.
Are the
Patterson.
3 I know?
I don't know who he is. So I'm not going to go. Sorry, he's the Jags kicker, Riley Patterson. Butker, Patterson, Elliott, McLaughlin,
this is how
Pinheiro.
This is how you set up analysts to fail. Because kickers, and the reason why we don't play with them in dynasty leagues is because they are just completely random. Outside of the greats like Justin Tucker, right? But you never know how many opportunities somebody's going to get. I'm going to go with Butker just because I expect some touchdowns. And if he gets a couple field goal opportunities, he should score, 8 to 10 points. I'm going Butker. I feel like it's just a safe play, but one of these other guys could get 8 freaking opportunities. I don't know.
Butker for me. If I was going to pick another one, it would be McManus because he has the ability to hit a couple of 55-plussers, but it's Butker.
I went Nick Folk. Sticking with it.
Oh, yeah, you did. I forgot. That was 8 minutes ago.
You're wrong, but that's rambling. Cool. It's cool. Stay proud.
An insider just dropped that the Saints are expecting to ask for a first-round pick for the rights for head coach Sean Payton, according to Adam Schefter.
And they should.
Bob Cleveland tweeted it.
Schefter. There's no N in there.
Just call him Shefty, and everything's fine.
Whatever.
So
Schefter, whatever.
Hayden Hurst or Dawson Knox?
It's Knox for me.
Knox for me as well.
Jeff wants to know, what do you think the future holds for Derek Carr? If he is traded or cut, what teams do you think might try to get him? I could maybe see the Jets, Panthers. What other teams might want to target Carr? So first of all, he's getting cut.
I think it could get traded.
I don't know, because the contract is such a big issue, right? He's owed $40 million if he makes it past the whatever the date is for that.
3 days after the Super Bowl.
I don't think no. It doesn't kick in until at least the new league year, which is March 15th.
I thought his contract guaranteed 3 days after the Super Bowl, but I could be wrong.
We'll have to look that up, but
either way, it's relevant to your point.
They can't trade 3 days after, right? The new league year doesn't.
I know, but they do. They just don't.
You can be put in like Matt Castle was traded like the week of the Super Bowl or something. Like they can do it. It's like a verbal agreement.
The Stafford trade was the same. Like all that stuff went down, but it doesn't become official. You're right until the new year kicks off.
That's correct.
Which is March 15th.
That's the real happy new year.
That's the new league year.
Okay, so say he's not a Raider, right? Like that's safe to say. So he's
going
done somewhere.
He's done in Las Vegas. That I think that ship has sailed. But that's the reason why they did this contract the way they did it, was so that McDaniel had 1 year, could figure out if Carr was the guy, and then if not, cut bait and get out from under it. He's done with the Raiders. I think the Colts. I think the Jets, the Panthers,
the Bucks.
Yeah.
I'm actually working on. I'm coming back to writing something. I'm working on a quarterback landscape of 2023, and it's surprising how many potential moves there could be. And I see Carr in one of although I think Indianapolis and Houston have to draft their quarterback, like especially the Colts. Like enough of these retreaded older dudes, like just draft a freaking quarterback. And that doesn't mean you can't do both. But after watching college football yesterday, there's 2 quarterbacks I really like. So I'd be drafting one of those if I was Houston, and I would be doing the same if I was the Jets. I would also be doing the same if I was the Panthers. The problem with the Panthers is if they win today, they might actually be in the playoffs and win the division. So I see Carr going to one of these 2 teams personally, and I think the Panthers make the most sense. But the reason I think he gets traded is because I think both of these teams express interest, and both of those teams think they need to make that move, but we'll see. I don't know.
I don't see anybody paying him $40 million.
Yeah, I was just looking up his contract.
Because it goes from like 5 to 40 if he's there past the date. Whatever that date is.
Yeah, it's quite different. Yeah, I don't know what you do with that contract. $40 million is a good amount of money, but it's not crazy anymore, right? Like that's what quarterbacks make.
Well, yeah, but you don't want somebody that's been as bad as Carr.
Has he been that bad though?
I think so.
I think he had a rough year this year, but I think he's been pretty decent.
Like, well, yeah, but you if he gets released, you can probably get him for in between for around 20 instead.
True. So you could also add the variable of Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be available. I don't think that maybe moves the needle much, but would you rather have Jimmy or Derek Carr?
I'd rather have Jimmy.
I think so too. Baker's going to be available. I don't think he moves the needle very much. Brady sounds like he's leaving and still playing. So he's available.
Rodgers could be.
Could be. I think Kyler Murray is on the market. I think Russell Wilson is on the market. If somebody wants to go and give up whatever they have to give up. Moved. It could, though. Like the Jets could give up next to nothing and land Russell Wilson. You just have to inherit all that shit. I wouldn't do it. But
Zach Wilson could be on the move.
I think Zach Wilson is on the move. Or actually, I think Zach
Wilson's going to the Rams, I bet.
I think Zach Wilson is honestly a Jet until his contract's up because he's guaranteed that money. There's no point in cutting the guy. You could just tell him to stay home and hang out with his mom's best friend.
There's at least upside with Zach Wilson though, where like when we're looking at Derek Carr, like we know what his ceiling is, and he's probably not getting back to that ceiling.
The other thing is he's not good in colder weather games. Like he has a long history of horrible numbers in cold weather. So if you're the Jets, do you want to make that investment thinking that potentially you're a playoff team? Because he's going to shit the bed in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't see Carr getting traded because of that contract and the $40 million. But there's going to be a lot of moves this offseason, I think. And we're going to see some shakeups.
Yeah, I let this article be easy to write. It's not. It's pretty in-depth.
So I mean, we could probably count how many teams like are solidified and won't upgrade with Buffalo, Kansas City,
Cincinnati,
Chargers, Jacksonville, Chicago,
Vikings. Kirk's got one more year, I think.
Yep. The Rams, if they're comfortable, Stafford's coming back and healthy, they won't do anything.
I think he said he is.
He is.
Well, he's coming back, yeah. But there's a difference between being comfortable with his health and
Geno Smith is available. He'll be a free agent. Lamar Jackson, although I think the Ravens franchise tag him to death, could be out there. Like there's so many quarterbacks.
They've seen how much he means to their offense. He's getting a deal in Baltimore.
Dallas is another team that has a quarterback.
I think
Daniel Jones could be out there.
I think Daniels showed enough that they're without any wide receivers. Like we're literally talking about Richie James, Hodgins, and Darius Slayton week in and week out. So
I hear you.
Definitely think that.
But if you're the Giants and you have to pick between Saquon and Daniel Jones, and you only got one tag, who are you using it on?
I'd rather go the quarterback. We just see it too many times where the running back is replaceable, and I don't care how good.
I don't disagree.
The running back is. I think you have an easier job filling Saquon's hole, which you've done 2 out of the past 3 years anyway for the majority of the season. Which you guys know I love Saquon. We just had the discussion 2 weeks ago about how you do not sit Saquon this time of the year. But yeah, it's
shut up, Bryce.
We tried telling you.
Yeah.
Dicker is also available in my league if that changes anything for my Dicker
sure
the
does.
Kicker.
Dicker the Kicker. Go. What are we even talking about?
Why are you guys so high on Dicker? Is it just a name thing?
Yeah,
pretty much none of my leagues have kickers, Jeff. I'll tell you that much.
Hang on, I gotta look up the stats.
But he has
the stats are freaking good.
He just said he's ranked kicker 30.
I like how Dicker the Kicker is what pops up on Google too. That's pretty awesome.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they call him.
I didn't even know that. I just said it earlier because it rhymed.
Yeah.
And not original or anything.
Started. Yeah.
Devonta Smith or Joe Mixon for the flex. Now this is, you got a good team here, duo. I'm starting Joe Mixon though. I'm gonna take the touches and go with it. It's tough, but I do like Smith's upside. But I will go with Mixon here and lock up the floor, and he's got a decent upside as well. Sully, what are you doing here?
I'll go with Mixon as well. I think he can run the Bills a little bit. Plus, he's always got that pass catching upside. And again, I think that's a very high total game. I don't know what the Eagles Saints game is going to be in terms of total points, so I'll go with Mixon.
Man,
it's a tough one for Bryce.
Yeah,
just so you know, we can all hear that too when you do that.
Sorry, I really like Devonta Smith this week.
That's how microphones work.
Yeah,
sorry. I got my dad call me, and then he wants to ask a question. I'm like, get on the stream and ask it then.
Give him preference. Your dad needs help. He's asking you.
I gave him the answer. Well, I guess we could answer that one after this, but I'll go Devonta Smith as well.
Okay,
I'm going to go Devonta Smith by myself. I'm going to stick with what I got. I do like Joe Mixon's volume, but I just don't know. I could see Joe Burrow looking to throw more downfield today than check it down. So
combined between the Eagles and the Chargers this season, Cameron Dicker has attempted 19 field goals and he's made 18 of them.
It's not very many attempts.
Well, it's not his fault. He kicks what he makes.
He kicks what he makes.
Yeah. That should be on a t-shirt somewhere. 50 plus, he's 1 for 1. Or sorry, he's 0 for 1 from 50 plus, and he's nailed everything else. So he's made 18 of 18 from less than 50 yards. Cameron Dicker's the play, man. He's legit. He's got game-winning field goals for 2 different teams this season. I will $5 bet you Cameron Dicker against Daniel Carlson all day long.
I picked Dicker the kicker.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm not arguing against Dicker the kicker.
I got to get a Dicker the kicker jersey. I'm getting a jersey.
I'm too lazy to look up kicker stats.
Maybe I'll make a t-shirt. I'm getting ready to drop this new Roto Heat merch store.
Ooh.
And we got some stuff in there that let me just tell you this.
I want to buy some stuff.
If you're in a league and you guys want to do a trophy, but trophies take up a lot of space, I've got some customized, personalized metal signs that we're going to be releasing when this new store launches, where you can put in your league name, your team name, or your name, and we've got one that is for the winner, and then we also have one that features a toilet and says "loser" right in the toilet bowl that you can get for whoever gets last place in your league, and they come in like 6 different sizes. We're gonna have some more personalized, some cool stuff coming. But JJ wants to know Deonta Foreman or Rashad White in a standard league for his flex.
They play each other.
Well, they play each other. The Buccaneers' run defense is pretty good. I'll go with Rashad White.
So. Fournette really seemed to take hold of the touches last week. I don't know if they're going to throw as well. They always throw. I'm going to go Foreman here. I don't like it, though. I don't like either one, to be totally honest. How did I rank it? Maybe I should follow that.
I'm going to go.
Go. Foreman doesn't get hardly gets any targets.
Yeah, I have Foreman ranked 2 spots higher than White. I'll stick with my ranking.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Foreman just because of the touches. Obviously, catches still matter even if it's a standard league, but man, that's tough. I'm gonna go Foreman as well, though. Moss, London, or DPJ. I would be starting 2 Falcons if I choose London with Algier in my running back 2 spot. I'm still going with London here, I think.
Yeah, I think I am too. He's really been the focal point of that offense pretty much since Pitts went down, but really seems to be with Ritter when he's throwing the football. So we'll go with Drake London here as well, Rick. Bryce?
Drake London has had 9 targets last week and 11 targets the week before. That's when Desmond Ritter took over. I will take that volume all day.
Yep, absolutely.
Custer just dropped $902 on Joshua Dobbs in that Superflex bonus league that we played. I love it.
Oh, yeah, it's the last week of
just
waivers.
Why not, right? Spend some money.
That's all it's the last time to spend your money, so might as well put it all in there. But they didn't run. That's what I was doing a second ago when I wasn't paying attention. I was manually processing all the waivers in all my leagues that I have because they didn't go off. So I set the date a little too early. Cash's stylist, McLaurin or Brandon Cooks. This is easily McLaurin for me.
Same.
Yeah. Easy.
Lou 32 Lofton says, GM gents, good morning, gents. Jalen Waddle or Christian Kirk at wide receiver?
Waddle for me.
Waddle. Easily.
Waddle for me easily as well.
By a country mile, as Jeff Jacobs.
I don't think it's a country mile this week, but I think it's Waddle.
I think it's a country mile this week.
Yeah, it's a country
Christian
mile.
Kirk against Houston.
I would I would bet it if we could define what a country mile actually is. I would bet it, but I can't, so I won't.
Danny Dimes or Minshew and Hodgins or Dortch lost to a Henry D-Hop in a deep league. Damn.
Sorry, man.
That's rough. I think it is going to have to be a discussion in future years. Do you still end and have your championship in week 16? Because I do think that we are going to see more of this in weeks 17 and 18 going forward, people getting sat. I'm going Danny Dimes. And I'm going Hodgins. Well, shit.
I have Minshew ranked one spot higher than Jones, so I'm going to stick with Minshew. You have David Blau playing quarterback for Arizona today without Hopkins. I think I got to go with Hodgins, even though I don't feel great about it. Every time Dortch gets an opportunity, he produces, but that's with Kyler. He hasn't, or McCoy. He hasn't done anything since. So actually, no, he did. I'm wrong. Ugh, screw it. I'm going Minshew and Dortch.
I'm going Dimes and Hodgins. Bryce, where you go?
I'm going Dimes and Hodgins as well.
Jeff Field says Kirk Cousins or Danny Dimes, full PPR with no hurts. I went Cousins last week. I think I'm going to stick with Cousins. Even though Jones has rushing upside, Cousins is going to pass a ton versus Green Bay. I'm going Cousins. It's pretty easy for me.
I agree.
Kirk's my man. Let's go.
All right. If you have any questions, get them in the chat. We'll give it a couple minutes here before we sign off for the day and go after the championships. Angel wants to know sit one, ETN, Stevenson, Algier. We already had this one in, and we all started ETN and Stevenson over Algier. That's where we're going to go with this, unless somebody changed their mind over the last 30 to 45 minutes. I'm starting ETN and Stevenson, and ETN's matchup's just beauty. It's a beautiful one.
I have a question. Aaron Rodgers or Mike White?
I'm going Mike White.
Damn it.
I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers.
Thanks, guys. Now I know how it feels to be on this chat side of the screen.
I got a good one.
I got another one, but you go first, Bryce.
Evan Ingram or Dallas Goedert?
Goddard.
Goddard's against New Orleans, who's number one against tight end this year.
It's a good point.
I'm going Evan Ingram. He's just been getting way too much volume lately.
That's who I have in there, but then I'm like, and then
that is tough though. I love Dallas Goedert.
I have Goddard ranked third and Ingram ranked fourth this week, both ahead of Mark Andrews. So they're right there.
Okay, good. I got one more after you.
Zay Jones or Cortland Sutton?
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones.
Okay. Good. I'm on the same page there.
Zay was just the
I have
sauce
Rodgers.
Lost last week, right?
That's true.
I said that, Zay Jones, get him out of your lineup. Sauce the bosses over there,
and it was shitty ass rain too. So
yeah.
But I have right now in that's my only championship. I'm going with I had Hurts, so I have Burrow and Rodgers going. I could go Burrow and Mike White, but I think Rodgers throws for a pile against our crappy defense.
I mean, that's not consensus, because I was kind of curious where people had those guys in looking at just fantasy pros. They have Rodgers at 11 and Mike White at 16. Yeah, that's a.
They have Rodgers at 10.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. It's at 11.
No, I have Rodgers at 10.
Oh, gotcha.
Out of these three, which one would you bench? Godwin, Pittman, or Olave?
Pittman. Nick Foles, baby. Poop on a cracker.
Probably.
It's just matchup because Philly, but okay, I'll throw in Olave.
I'm playing Dicker here. Dicker the kicker, baby.
When in doubt.
I'll go Money Mac for this one. High scoring game.
You want to look at his stats? Let's look at his stats.
He had
He has
two
been
missed
garbage.
field goal. He had 2 missed extra points last week and a missed field goal. But the weather was not good.
Yeah. And
he's 37 to 41 in extra points this season, and he's 22 of 27 on field goals. He is not having a good season. He watched that halftime show, and his career's gone to shit ever since. He was like, he couldn't miss anything, and he had balls of steel, and he was talking about we're going to the Super Bowl every time he'd walk out on the field. And then he decided to watch the Dr. Dre halftime show, and he's been poop ever since.
Yeah. Plus, you get Dicker in LA, like good
and
weather.
Dicker's a kicker. Dicker is a kicker.
He is. We narrowed that down for you.
He's 9 of 13 inside 49 yards. That's terrible.
2 of them were last week.
He's missed 1 inside of 29.
That was last week.
Really? Everything was last week.
No, the one inside of 29 was definitely last week because it was like, wow, he missed that. What an idiot.
He's missed 5 field goals this week. How many did he miss last week? Or this year?
2 last week, right?
Okay.
And then 2 extra points last week.
I feel so bad for that kid from Ohio State.
That was tough. Really tough.
That was a field goal. That's hard to add. That's hard to add from a college kicker.
That's for one. That's just a hard field goal anyway. Then you put the stress. Like I would argue that the pressure in college is as much or even more than in the NFL. Like those fan bases are even more fanatical than most professional fan bases, especially at a school like Ohio State. And they just like they got to that line on that Stroud run. And then instead of getting the kid more yards to make it easier on him, they like went super conservative. And then they tried like throwing, like run the ball just up the middle a few times, try to get him another, even if it's only 6 to 8 more yards, like that's a big comfort for that kid. And
I don't know.
That was bad from the snap. Like something just didn't look
right. It was.
Like,
even if you watch the feed with Pat McAfee, as soon as they snapped the ball, he was like, "Oh God!" Like he knew a second that ball was snapped, it was bad. But yeah, like I don't know what the opportunity for the Ohio State kicker is going forward, but that's very arguably the biggest kick of that kid's life. And
it absolutely is.
Like he might not be an NFL kicker. Like there's a ton of guys that play college football that never make the pros. But
131 teams, they all have a kicker.
Exactly. An amazing football game. And it was just sad that it came down to that. Like it's the college football playoffs don't disappoint though, man. They're like book it good all the time.
I'm happy when they expand it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. You know, and even the other game, like I was happy to see that Michigan one end the way it did. Yeah, I was happy to see Michigan lose. I won't lie, but TCU is kind of a fun story. They haven't won a national championship since like 1938 or something like that. So that's kind of fun. And I'm kind of watching these guys that I think are, because I'm starting to look at rookies content now. And I watched the Alabama game because I wanted to see Bryce Young and I thought he looked really good. And I was like, oh, I think he's my quarterback. And then I watched CJ Stroud and went, oh, maybe not, because he looks really good. So
Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be.
Oh my God! I'm ready to tank every league I'm in next year. That's how much I like him.
He's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I was the same way, man. I had Young as my QB1 and Stroud 2 and close, right? Like I didn't have them very far apart, but what I saw from Stroud last night, though. And we're seeing this with Justin Fields in the pros right now. Like, didn't run a lot at Ohio State. Now running more in the pros than he ever did at Ohio State. And I think we could see a similar trajectory for Stroud in the NFL with the way the NFL is going. So I think that for fantasy purposes ups his value a little bit. And I do think that he jumped Bryce Young for me last night. And again, it's going to be real close. But you know who I like a lot is that Miller running back from TCU, Kendre Miller, who got hurt. Hopefully he can play in the national championship because I want to see all the good players in those games. But like him a lot. Quentin Johnston looks pretty good from TCU as well. Wide receiver, big number one.
That's the guy I was focusing on. I thought he looked pretty good.
But he'll be the number one wide receiver taken probably.
Miller's probably my number 3 running back right now in next year's class behind Gibbs and Robinson, who Robinson's just head and shoulders above everybody else. But I think Miller might be my number 3 right now.
That's interesting.
Watching Deuce Vaughn, do you like him?
Do what?
Deuce Vaughn for Kansas State. He's kind of
that's some wheels.
Real small number 22. Looks like Darren. Darren Sproles went there too. Everybody's comparing him to him. So
yeah. I mean, I look at Miller as somebody that I look at those three running backs at the top of the class right now. And I haven't done all my research. I haven't dug in super deep, but I feel like all of them can carry the ball 15 to 20 times a game and get targets. And that's what we didn't really see last year, right? We had Bryce Hall and Kenneth Walker, but we didn't have Kenneth Walker's not getting used a ton in the passing. Bryce Hall was, but he was like the only guy that like we felt comfortable was going to get a ton of carries and a ton of targets. I think Walker will get more targets in the future, but this class seems to have a lot more like dual threat running backs that could really carve out big roles in the NFL.
I like, is it Tucker who's in Syracuse? Is that his name?
Sean Tucker.
I like him from the little bits that I've watched. And I do like Charbonnet or whatever the heck his name is. I think he could have come out last year, and I think he looks good. But yeah, I think this year, last year seemed receiver heavy. This year seems a little bit more running back depth.
Balance. It's got a little bit of everything except tight end. There's only like one tight end.
Dude, I think there's 2.
Next year is going to have the best tight end we see for a while. With Brock Bowers.
I don't know. Michael Mayer is a monster.
Yeah.
There's only one. Michael Mayer is a monster.
You're right. I forgot about him.
I think that obviously when you look at athleticism, when you compare him and Pitts, obviously Pitts has the athleticism, but I think Mayer has everything else that fits NFL tight end, successful tight end. I think he'll
come in as a starter for wherever he goes for sure.
Is he the 6'7", nearly like 280, 290 guy?
I think that might be Brock Bowers for Georgia.
There's another tight end I thought who was coming out this year.
Michael Mayer's big.
Michael Mayer's a big boy, but
they were talking about this one guy, and I can't remember where he's from. That he's basically he's an offensive lineman, but he has athletic ability and tight end skills. So like when he's got his hand in the dirt and he's blocking, he's a 6th offensive lineman, and when he's out running passes, he's a freaking wide receiver. So I don't know how good he is. I haven't watched any film on him yet.
It might be Mayer.
Mayer is 6'4", 265.
Yeah, so that's not the guy, but
it could be Washington from Georgia. They have another dude that he's like more of a dual threat, but he's a better blocker than he is a receiver. But he can do both.
It's Darnell. It's Darnell Washington. He's 6'7", 270.
Yeah, he's not even the best tight end on the team. He's not even the best tight end on the team.
Fair.
That's what's crazy. Yeah.
But Georgia's a pretty damn good team, obviously, right?
Yeah. Oh, Brock Bowers is going to be a sought after piece next year by fantasy and real teams.
All right, we got 3 questions here. We're gonna lock those up and get on with the day. I've got people asking me shit with leagues, so I got to get out of here before these games start. But Davante Adams or Jerry Jeudy, Sully?
Adams for me, please.
It's Adams easily for me. It's not even.
It's not even easy for me. What's the last? Jeudy put up 3 touchdowns last time he played against Kansas City.
It's easily Davante Adams. Come on, it's championship week. You can't.
Garrett Stidham sucks. He sucks.
How do we know?
He didn't even start. He couldn't even start over Cam Newton.
Well, that's because Cam Newton's name recognition, and they brought him inside the organization.
I don't think Bill Belichick gives a shit.
Bill Belichick doesn't know shit about offense. You said it yourself.
That's true. That is true.
I mean,
I'm on Jerry Jeudy.
$5 on this one all damn day.
Yes, make it
$5
as much as you want. Exactly.
Pink slip. Pacheco, Dobbins, or Goddard? Full PPR.
Goddard.
Dobbins.
Goddard scores. Probably twice.
$5 bet?
That he scores 2 touchdowns? No.
I know, I was just kidding.
I'll take Dobbins versus Goddard, though.
I'll take that easy.
I will too.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, throw him in there. Last week. Let's see if we can get another bet out of Marco's question. Got the option between 2 games, Panthers versus Bucks or Dolphins versus Pets. Which one do you think is a better one to watch?
I would watch the Panthers and the Bucks.
I think the more fun
the game's on the division's on the line, man.
Playoff spots are on the line for the other one. Playoff spots are on the line for the other one.
Yep.
Dolphins, but I'll go Dolphins versus Pats just because the Dolphins offense is the most fun to watch out of all these, even with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback.
Okay, so here's my question. Who's the most exciting player on any of these teams?
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
And Jalen Waddle would be the second.
That's what I was getting ready to say. The 2 most exciting players out of these 4 teams are on the same team in that Dolphins-Pats game. I'm going with Dolphins versus Pats. 2 most exciting players.
Would you say the third's Ramondre?
Here's what you do. When the Dolphins have the football, watch them. And then when the Pats get the ball, switch over to the other game. And I don't care who has the ball because that's going to be more
entertaining. About 3 minutes. That takes out 3 plays for them to punt, and then you go.
3 minutes might be a lot. You might miss a bit of the Dolphins drive.
Well, they punt, and then they do a commercial.
That's true. Might have a commercial break. Yeah. That's fair.
So I would argue that Godwin and Ramondre are real close for the third most exciting player. But if I'm being completely honest, I don't know why, but I've always just had a lot of fun watching Leonard Fournette. And now he's like the rumbling, grumbling, older guy. Like he doesn't have that.
And he's mad, right?
Yeah.
He's mad because people call him fat and he's doing all this other stuff. I think so, but I also like the Patriots defense the more I think about this.
All right, we're on the next. Flex 1, Algier, DJ Moore, or Stevenson? Stevenson.
Yep. Easy.
Matt Gay, Riley Patterson, or Cam Dicker?
Dicker
the kicker.
Set it and forget it.
Yep. Sounds like a good plan, Sully. Red Zone. You can just turn on Red Zone.
Yep.
He's probably his cable version. He probably doesn't have Red Zone.
I mean, this dude's from the future. How does he not have Red Zone?
And how does he not know the answer?
Yeah. How does he not know which game? Why don't you tell us? Quit asking us questions and just give us the answers.
He's just not far enough into the future. Right?
Give us the answers, Marco. I want to know what parlay to put in right now.
I need some DK help in a big bad way. My bank is poop.
I'll just put my 8-part any touchdown scorer is hitting today. $20,000 in my bank account later today.
Why you didn't wait for Marco to tell you? I don't know.
I might actually have to add to my bank in DraftKings this week.
I'll get Game Pass next year, he says. So you already know because you're
right. He knows.
Look at that. Richie, I mean, where? I'm not laughing at you, Lamar, just to be clear. I'm just laughing at the fact that this is a question that I didn't immediately go, it's Hollywood. Like, when I read this, I didn't immediately go, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how sad it is that we're in this spot. Because Hollywood is the clear most talented receiver out of these two. But David Blau. Richie James getting a bunch of targets because there's nobody else alive in that wide receiver core.
Shouldn't Lamar know the answer to this question since Hollywood played with Lamar for as many years as they did?
You would think, but
I'm going Hollywood Brown here, and it's not even remotely close for me.
Yeah, no D-Hop today. I would imagine Hollywood Brown gets the most targets.
Would you? Because last week with Hop in there, it was Greg Dortch that got all of them.
That's because
wasn't it Trace
McSorley can only throw the ball 3 yards.
Yeah, I'll go.
David Blau is not exactly great, but he can throw the ball down the field.
I mean, I'm going Hollywood
and he
here,
does
but I
play Atlanta.
think it is a question
It's a question. It's just
Richie
not
James
a hard
is
one
getting
to
the
answer.
targets. If it's PPR,
He isn't
there's a
though.
floor.
Richie James had the targets last week, but I don't think he's had them the last X number, has he?
I mean,
I really don't.
Richie James. Game logs. So 11, 5, 9, 3, 6, 3 over the past 6 weeks.
So you like the 11 and the 9. That's valid.
I mean, 5 and 6 I'll take. Where we at with
Not-
Hollywood Brown?
Wow. Yeah, sure. But Hollywood's situation has changed so much. I don't think you can look at his history.
Six, 8, 8, 8. 9,
That's not
10,
bad.
11. But
So
the problem
more.
is he's catching he's catching less than half in most games without Kyler.
His quarterbacks are dormant.
He has
bartenders, that's why.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? We'll go back, but all those targets, he has not had more than 57 yards in any of those games.
Yeah, they've not been playing very well.
Yeah. So
regardless of quarterback, even with Kyler, he wasn't really, and he was hurt for a while and stuff like that, but he wasn't exactly blowing the doors off, right?
So I'll just say this, with Kyler, the lowest he had through the first 6 weeks of the season before he missed time was 11.8. He has not topped 10.6 since. And I don't remember the last week. Week 12 was Kyler in week 12. I don't know. But in the last three,
he was.
In the last 3, he is 8.8, 5.9, and 7.4 in PPR with a total of 22 targets. So it's not going well for Marquise Brown right now. And then I'll go back to Mr. Richie James here. Bryce, you want to put up the next question while I'm looking this up?
Yeah, Marco said watch the Texans game and bet on Burkhead to score.
Savvy, but and he's giving you something with probably good odds too.
We got another Hollywood Brown.
One second, I got it now that you went off on a different tangent. So in the last 6 weeks for Richie James, he's went 13.8, 15.1, 19.1, 17, and then he does have 2 games in there with an 8.2 and a 5.0. So Richie James has been more productive over the last 6 weeks than one Mr. Marquise Brown. So I do think it is a question. I am going Marquise Brown.
I apologize. It's a question. I'm way closer than I thought, and way better than I thought he would have been. But I'll still go with Hollywood, but valid point.
Yeah, I think he gets peppered today.
Hollywood or Kirk?
I'm going Christian Kirk here.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Christian Kirk.
Yeah, it's Christian Kirk for me. And then Juwan Johnson or Mark Andrews?
This one is Mark Andrews.
We had a lot of this last week, and we were right, not by much, by going Mark Andrews. So I'll stick with it.
Yep, I'm going Mark Andrews as well. All right, guys. That puts us at 12:40. Game starting off in 20 minutes. I want to wish everybody in fantasy championships a good luck. It's funny that Mr. Taylor, who has come by like every week, every stream, now that he's facing me in the championship, decided not to stop by today's show. Lamar got another one in here. Thanks, guys. One more question. Gardner Minshew versus Geno Smith.
Give me that Minshew magic.
Mustache power.
Yeah, I'm not taking Geno versus the Jets.
Geno's been, to your point, just not great.
He hasn't been as good, and the Jets are tough on QBs, so I'm going to go with Gardner Minshew as well. But to you guys, good luck in your championships.
Thank you.
And
good luck to you as well.
This is us signing off for the 2022 season. No more Sunday morning streams until week 1 of the 2023 season, of which I'm going to be completely stoked to watch my new rebuilt Chicago Bears play their first game with hopefully some talent on the roster. We're expected to have over $150 million to spend, all the picks, plus we get the trade back, I think is what's going to happen. You know what? So Houston, pull out a dub. pull out a dub, get us the number 1 pick. That'd be awesome.
Houston should trade back as well.
I don't know.
Quarterback too bad.
Yeah, but it doesn't fix you. You can get a shit ton for that pick.
You gotta start with that though. With the
with
caliber of guys that are there, you gotta start there.
Yeah, I don't think I can trade back if I'm them.
It's quarterbacks.
I mean, I even have. But the Bears have been searching since the 60s.
Yeah, but the Bears are the Bears.
The Texans have a lot of draft capital.
But there's very few teams that have been as inept at finding a quarterback like Minnesota and Chicago have been over the last 40 years, right? Like teams can find quarterbacks. Like we just talked earlier about the number of quarterbacks are going to be available.
But there's a reason why they're available.
Well, some of it's contractual and some of it is they're not that great. But, I think you could trade back if you're Houston, accumulate some assets, address your offense and defensive lines, which I personally believe is where you should build first. Bring in Derek Carr, bring in Geno Smith, bring whatever. Keep the lights on till the next season. And guess what? There's a whole another crop of rookie quarterbacks that are available in the draft that may or may not be as good as the CJ Strouds and the Bryce Youngs. Who knows? Who's that kid that just won the Heisman? He looks pretty freaking good. I don't know.
Caleb Williams is very good too.
Yeah,
right?
But the fact is that
the first pick next year.
He's going to be the first pick next year. Like, I think we can lock that in. Like, people, they're already
unless something
comparing
happens,
him to.
Yes.
I mean, unless he has an injury.
Could ball out. Ewers could ball out and be up there.
It's Caleb Williams would be the number 1 pick. I'd put money on it. I wonder if you can. I might have to look that up.
You 100% can.
He's going to be the number 1 pick. But the problem is that you have to tank again. You don't know if you're going to get the first pick. You don't know if you're going to be in a spot to get that quarterback. I think when you don't have the quarterback and you're in that spot, you have to get him, especially since it's not like if you think about Kansas City to get Mahomes, Chicago to get Fields, the acquisition cost to get them, San Francisco trading up to get Trey Lance, like it costs so much to go get your guy at quarterback that if you're
that's why I'm trading back. Because the number 1 quarterback,
but you're going to have to turn and do that again yourself and spend.
I don't think you are. You're not wrong, but I don't think necessarily you are, because I don't think you have to tank with one of those quarterbacks. I think you're still just not very good. So you can go and win 5 and 6 games and still pick in the top 10 and probably have a good asset to draft. Like you look at the history of the draft, the 101 quarterback is not always the guy to pick, and most recently hasn't been.
I don't know. Trevor Lawrence is pretty good.
Other than Trevor Lawrence.
Burrow
pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But in Burrow's class, who was in Burrow's class? Tua was in there. Herbert was in there. So there's still options there. Or sorry, was that T-Law's class?
Yeah.
Nope,
no, that was
right. You're right.
Right. And then T-Law's class, you had Fields, you had Lance, you had Wilson, you had all these other guys. And Hurts was in there somewhere. Hurts was in there somewhere. Which year was Hurts in? Burrow's year?
Yes.
Hurts was there.
And he was a second rounder, right? So you're not wrong. Like obviously it's better to have the first overall pick if you're strongly feeling you need a quarterback. But man, you could be picking Baker Mayfield instead of Trevor Lawrence, right?
Well, yeah, but see, the problem for me with that argument is that it's more likely that you get the Baker Mayfield the longer you or the deeper in the draft that you're picking a quarterback as well. Because we can look at even the year with Allen and Jackson, right? Like Darnold and Rosen and all those guys went in there and they went in 10 to 15 range. What Rosen was 15 and whatnot. So it's obviously hard to hit there, but I feel like when you don't have them and you're in the position to get them without needing to trade up to get your guy, I think you got to take them and then build everything else around them. Because it's just so hard. It is hard to predict whether you're picking 1 or you're picking 21 to pick the right guy at quarterback. That's why, Denver's been searching and trying and to figure it out, and even bringing in guys that have proven it in the NFL and it hasn't worked out. And you see the same thing in Carolina. and Indy with that, those are aging guys, but I
think Carolina's the team that would trade up with Houston and give them a pile. And they have the defensive assets, they have the draft capital. David Tepper's not the most patient owner in the world, and he's got nothing but cash. So I think that's the team that would trade up, but what do I know?
If somebody blows you out of the water, I just think the offer has to blow you out of the water, and it can't be something that you're willing to give up to bring in your franchise quarterback, because it's not just even about winning the games, right? But it's about how many jerseys you sell, all the other stuff that comes along with having that guy. Because just, from being in Chicago and never having that guy, like, I remember getting excited about Rex Grossman when he got drafted. Big arm, finally a guy that we thought could. Took us to the Super Bowl.
I was pretty happy with Christian Ponder. Shit doesn't always work out.
Right. But then, the aura around the whole organization now with Fields is
we're getting questions again because we're sticking around.
Thank you guys, and good luck for your championship games. The Bears probably draft a long snapper. Marco sucks. Pick one of PPR. Zay Jones, Cortland Sutton, Jacoby Myers, John Dotson. Zay Jones for me.
Yeah, I'm between Zay and Sutton, so I'm going with Zay because that's what I'm doing personally.
I'll go Jahan Dotson.
I mean, way out in left field there.
I don't think so.
No, he's a tutty machine.
Against Cleveland, that's
Carson Wentz loves him too.
Carson Wentz. That's another guy who's available next year. Add him to my never-ending article.
Good morning. Happy New Year to ya. I need a wide receiver 3 and 2 flex spots. Those are Gabe Davis, Lazard, Olave, Sutton, Pacheco, and Najee Harris. So a wide receiver 3, I'm going with Olave.
Yep.
2 flex spots. I'm going with Lazard.
Nope. Maybe
Najee and Lazard and Olave for me.
Najee is one of my flexes for sure.
Olave and Lazard for me as well.
Najee, Olave, and Sutton for me. I don't want Lazard. I don't want anything to do with him. The guy's terrible.
Sutton is
what do you mean terrible?
What do you mean terrible? Look at his numbers.
He gets like double digits more than anybody.
Yeah, he's been one of the most consistent wide receivers in the league this year.
Maybe I watched the wrong season. Hang on.
He's only had less than 10 points 4 times.
Yeah.
And one of them was 9.3. So really 3 times has he really kind of just shit the bed.
And this is better if Watson is out, because
I think he's going to be limited.
It is harder for him with both Dobbs and Watson in. But yeah, I mean, he's only had 2 weeks that were really
So in his last 4 weeks, in the last 4 games that he's played, 2 catches for 24 yards, 5 for 67, 1 for 7, and 5 for 61. And he hasn't scored a touchdown since week 9. So what am I getting excited about here?
You've got a high floor player with
57 yards, 45 yards, 87
I think
yards.
Christian Watson's not going to play. Not going to be. I think he'll be limited today. That's why I like Lazard.
It's different. Like I said, it's different if Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs are healthy, but they're not.
I'm going Sutton over Lazard.
I mean, what are we getting excited about for Sutton? Since we can flip this one, because
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I don't buy that he's one of the most consistent wide receivers out there.
How? We just looked at his game log. He scored over 10 points in all but 3 games.
Yeah, and 3 of those were in the last 4 weeks.
That's fair.
Yeah, with Christian Watson and Dobbs being back for 3 of those games.
And both of them are probably going to play today. Dobbs is playing, isn't he?
Dobbs is playing.
And
Christian
I think
Watson's likely.
I think he plays.
Limited.
You're limited.
Sutton, on the other hand.
Yeah. How did he do last week?
He's had a good last 5 weeks. He had a goose egg one of them, but he's had double digits and
since he came back from injury, how's he been?
Scored.
Well, he's only played 2 games, I think, or 1. 2.
According to Glazer, the Broncos are looking for a head coach with head coach experience. That's a good start. That's a good start.
That is funny.
Matt Patricia should be available for him.
Oof. Matt Patricia's going to be available for his local high school, I think. Go to the next question. Did we answer this one?
We did. We got it right. Me and Bryce did.
No, I'll bet you guys Sutton or Lazard. You want another $5?
I'll take Lazard.
Might as well.
It's the last week. I don't even know how much I'm up or down because I didn't even know there was a Google sheet.
A little bit. Yeah, we'll help you with technology and get you over to that Google space. Fryermuth, please.
Shared where I know. I have 1,000, literally 1,000
Fryermuth
Google Docs.
Well.
Yeah, hire an assistant or something. Like, you need some help. You're too busy.
I bet Paul Bell-Boone would be an assistant for you.
Can you imagine?
I think you just want to lick his ball sack.
Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate.
that got really weird real fast, but no, I just want to see you guys at it again.
Fryermuth for me here.
Jeez.
And then 2 out of Brian Robinson. Who's
Kamara? That's Walker.
Yeah, he's
Kamara Akers. It's going to be Fryermuth, Kamara Walker for me.
It's Fryermuth, Walker, Akers for me.
I'm going Walker and Akers as well. I thought I'd be the only one taking Akers there.
Akers has been a monster of late.
Yeah, too late for me in my dynasty leagues.
Right?
It's a little too late.
Yeah, I don't hate that, but I'm going to go with it
next year. I like all. I feel like that's a hard one to go wrong out of those 4 running backs.
Marco says, I like the Bears very much. I just don't trust them when they draft. This is a whole new regime. What they did last year in the draft with what they were given was awesome. I mean, you can argue the Velus Jones pick, but still they found Braxton Jones in the 6th round.
It's good to bring some veteran experience in your rookie class with Velus. I think that was an okay pick.
Stetson Bennett is the same age as Josh Allen. Can you believe that?
Stetson Bennett is like 26 or something, isn't he?
He's the same age as Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think he's an undrafted free. I think he's an undrafted free agent.
No, I think he gets drafted. I
bet he might get drafted like 6th or 7th round for sure.
Maybe.
I think he could go up. I think he could get up into the 3rd, 4th round. He won't be a first rounder, but
I don't know.
I mean, people forget like they don't care at quarterback as much about age. Because they can play till they're 45.
I think it was Josh Palmer was like 27 or something when he entered.
What about Winky?
That's the guy I'm thinking of. He was like 28
Winky out of Florida
right?
State, went and played minor league baseball for years.
Wasn't Brandon Whedon like 27?
Brandon Whedon was old. Brandon Whedon was old too.
Hayden Hurst was pretty old because he went the baseball route too before.
Yep. Hayden Hurst was baseball. Drew Henson was the opposite. He was playing football. Wait, no, he was playing baseball, Yankees, and didn't make it, and then went and remember he came back like he was like 29 or something and played for Dallas and
then you guys got guys like Juju that were in the NFL when they were like 9.
Yeah.
Like he's how many years Juju's got experience and he's like 24 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's like a 5th year. He came in at 19.
Then you've got the tight end out of Oregon that is has 9 years, his 9th year of eligibility at Oregon because of being injured and COVID. And that's the thing, though. You're going to have a couple guys like these next 2 draft classes, plus what we've seen in the past 2 years. You're going to see some guys that are older because of COVID, canceled seasons, bouncing around, all that shit. So
I looked it up earlier today because I was looking at Bennett's age and I was wondering who was the oldest college player. And there's a 32-year-old running back for Colorado back in the day.
Minshew or Danny Dimes, still can't decide. I'm starting Hodgins, so do I stack it or go against the stack? I'm going Danny Dimes.
We had this earlier, and I had Minshew, so I'll stick with Minshew.
I think I went Minshew. Or no, I went Danny Dimes.
You did, yeah.
Yep,
you did.
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, we both did. I mean, he was 25. It is old, but it's not
fine
like,
as long as you get him off the punts. He's fine.
But Hayden Hurst was 26 when I think he was 26. I mean, Calvin Ridley was almost 25 when he got drafted.
Really?
And yeah, Calvin Ridley's old.
I had no idea.
He's like 20. He'll be 28 or 29 this next season. He's only been in the league for like 3 years.
He's older than that.
No, I think he'll be 28 or 29.
He'll be 29.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's 28 right now. He went to Bama, didn't he? Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh shoot!
Crazy list of guys that went to the wide receiver position.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Every position, really.
I think it's especially wide receiver, and I'm not even looking at defense, which I'm sure is awesome as well. But you go like Roddy White, Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, like list goes
Waddle,
on and on.
Devonta Smith,
Ruggs, Waddle, Smith, and I'm missing probably 10 that are good. Mechie, we don't know what he's going to be. Jerry Jeudy, right? And then you're right though, running back.
Tyler Lockett and Chris Olave.
DJ Yeldon, no.
Chris Olave.
No, I'm going Lockett. I talked to
Olave today.
Philly's corners are tough. Chris Olave or Tyler Lockett?
Lockett.
I'm going to go Olave. I don't know if Lockett's really going to be relevant. And if anybody gets sauced, I think Lockett does because he's the guy downfield.
He's not getting sauced. He runs out of the slot.
But he's the guy that gets the downfield shots, though, right?
But that's not – Sauce is lined up on the outside, whether it's DK
or not. They don't play zone. They play
I think that defense is good enough to get there. I'm going to go with Olave.
The slot kills the Jets, and the outside receivers get.
You're not wrong.
But Philadelphia's secondary is just as good, probably, as the Jets.
It's a little beat up, isn't it? Something Johnson or whatever his name is out, I think, still.
Well, yeah, but you still got
Gardner
the
Johnson.
top two guys.
Chauncey Gardner. I don't even know his name. Gardner Johnson.
That's why I said something Johnson. It's easy.
Darius Slay's they probably went in after last week, and they probably told Darius Slay the only thing you got to worry about for New Orleans is Chris Olave.
It's true.
He don't have the speed to keep up with Olave.
Darius Slay's the only guy in the league that's been able to shut Justin Jefferson down this year.
All right, last question here.
Yep.
Last one.
Bench one, full PPR, Saquon, Connor, ETN, Brian Robinson. Robinson gets the bench, right? They have great matchups, so this is tough between ETN and Robinson. ETN feels like a must play. ETN, I'm keeping in there. It probably is Robinson, but I don't love it because Antonio Gibson's out. Brian Robinson already getting a bunch of touches. I would love to have him in my lineup, but I think he is the bench here.
Yep. Out of these options, he is.
If ETN was playing anybody, not anybody, but most teams other than Houston, then I would have Brian Robinson in my lineup versus Cleveland instead. But Houston's they're way too bad against the running back to leave ETN on the bench.
I agree.
All right. That gets us right up to game time, guys.
Holy, look at that.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the every morning for the last 17 weeks here on YouTube. Henrik says 0.5 Dotson, Dobbs, Dobbins, Pittman, Cooks. Dotson, Dobbs. How many
Ds? I gotta go with Dotson. Dotson, Dobbs, Dobbins. I can't even say it. It's impossible.
I'll go with Dobbins. Dobbins for me.
I'm starting Dobbins if we're starting one.
Dotson.
That'd be my number 2.
I just don't trust Dobbins. Can't do it.
He's so efficient, though.
No, that's cool. That's cool, Henrik. Yeah, I'm going Dobbins there. Pittman would be my 2, and then Dotson. Hey, guys, good luck.
It's game time.
I appreciate you guys again. 17 weeks, another season in the books. I'm excited to get back here week 1 of
Evans or London? Last second question.
London.
Me too.
Oh, Luka Magic.
Yep.
60-point triple-double. That's magic, Luka.
Luka's freaking. I don't even watch basketball, I guess.
Me neither, but I like that kid a lot. All right. I'm going to go watch this Bears game. Get me the last bit of little Justin Fields. Just if you guys didn't see, we upgraded the.
Yeah.
Got the new Justin Fields up there.
That looks sick.
Go with the other Justin Fields, all the Justin Fields rookie cards. All the ones on this side those are all my autos that I've got in right now. Yeah, got that in this week. Excited to get that custom.
That's your retirement plan there, hey?
I got my one pride and joy is my Joe Burrow. I'm not even a Bengals fan.
But yeah, that
I got to frame the Warren Moon jersey you sent me. Still, I got it in the bag. I got to frame that bad boy.
I'll tell you what, there's a so like you can see the Sano over here.
Yeah.
Ron Sano auto over here. Those are, which I don't know about Canada, but those are from Michaels. They're just a 16x20 frame shadow box. And then you get some of that foam and some pins, and that's how I frame up. I got 4 Baez jerseys over here that are all in those. But they take up less room. They're real easy to do. Unless you have pinstripes, then it's a pain in the ass because you gotta stretch it just right so that the lines don't go like this.
Yeah. No, the Oilers jersey, the Moon one, is just a white gig, right? So with on it, so I'll do that.
And I just found, I was moving stuff around. I have a John Wall Washington jersey in a bag. I've got a Andre Reed I tried giving. If there's a Buffalo fan out there for shipping cost, I'll send you an Andre Reed autographed jersey.
Reach out to Klaus. He would do it.
No, I tried like 9 times.
Okay.
I tried. So that's past.
Andre Reed? You can't give away an Andre Reed signed jersey? Give me a break.
He's the only guy I tried giving it to because I know he's a Buffalo fan. And so I was just like, hey, pay for shipping and this is yours. And
good luck,
know how
Jeff.
I am. I love giving stuff away. But aside from Kirk, my entire championship lineup is locked. Here we go. Good luck, Jeff. Good luck, everybody. Fun season. And we're still going to be around. We've got new stuff starting up over the here in January at some point. We're probably going to take a little bit of a break after the season, get rejuvenated, and then be right back at it for rookie content. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you later.
Good luck. Go win it.
See ya.